So it's Big Ten tournament time coming up next week. This weekend's Saturday games, everybody plays. But here are the projections and scenarios heading into the weekend where each team can end up in the tournament because there is a lot with 1 week left. So number one, we've got Michigan, who is triple bye. They're locked in. Wolverines won the Big Ten. They have nowhere to go. So they're probably just going to chill. They play Michigan State, who's second. Michigan State also locked in triple bye, excuse me. These are triple byes. So they hit 3 days off, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They don't play until Friday, but who they play, we don't know yet. So there are a couple locks with all 18 teams. There's a few. But anyway, Michigan State versus Michigan this weekend. Yeah, it'll probably be a good game, but I think everybody's just looking to not get injured. Okay, next we have Nebraska. They are guaranteed a double, but they're still fighting for a triple. So the highest they can go is second place. That's a lot of scenarios that happen, but it doesn't really matter for Big Ten tournament seeding. However, they can, if they lose and some other things happen, they go down to 5. So they would only have a double bye. Very important game against Iowa. Iowa and Nebraska will both be playing because the game matters. So that's one to watch if you're a Big Ten basketball fan. Let's see. The next team, we have Illinois. Illinois is also in the same seat as Nebraska. So the highest they can go is 3. Triple bye. Different scenarios, but they could go as low as the 5th seed if they do not win. And then Sunday at Maryland, they'll likely win that game. I mean, you do want the triple bye. So, but it's on the road at Maryland. Another game to watch. That is very interesting that Illinois can possibly be in the double bye. After all year, I thought they would definitely be a triple bye team. Anyway, same thing for Purdue, but Purdue can go clear down to 7 with different scenarios. They just need to win. Bottom line is they just need to win. They could be in the triple bye. So for instance, one of the things, let me look here. I've got notes. For Purdue, what does Purdue have to do? Purdue must win. They have to win, obviously. And when they play Wisconsin, whoever loses this game is a double bye. But Iowa has to end up beating Nebraska. So for Purdue, what they need to get to the 4 is they need Iowa to beat Nebraska. That's kind of that can happen because Iowa and Nebraska are rivals. So, I mean, all right, how can Wisconsin get to 4? So best they can get is a triple bye, which is awesome because they're still in that possibility. They can go down to 6, so they're going to get a double for sure at Purdue. Badgers need to win, and they need Iowa over Nebraska, but also they need from Maryland to beat Illinois to get 4. I would say this is the least likely scenario of them, but it's still mathematically possible. It's crazy. But they also have to beat Purdue. UCLA making a really good comeback this year in the Big Ten after not the greatest conference start. They will automatically get a double bye. They're locked in. Can they go as low as 8? Yes, but that's still a double bye. They can go as high as 6. They play USC Saturday. They just need to not get injured. Ohio State, this is a surprise team. They've made a pretty good run in the last few games of the season with some signature wins. They are in a dire position to win here because they can go as high as a double bye. But what they cannot do is lose down to 9. That gets them a single bye. Here's the situation on how they have a shot at the double bye. If they lose to Indiana and Iowa beats Nebraska, then Ohio State goes down to 9. They get a single bye, then they would play Wednesday. The fact is that they should beat Indiana. They should. Indiana's a trap team, though. Indiana loses to bad teams, but then they beat good teams. So this is going to be a very good game on Saturday. Both of them are really going to be playing, I would think. Although the only issue is that Indiana's already locked where they're at, win or lose. So it doesn't really matter to Indiana. I'll be interesting to see if they want to play upset. I'm sure they want to play the best basketball going into the game. So, so for those of you that think that these teams just give up, they don't. They don't. They want to be on top of their game going in. So that's Ohio State. Next team is Iowa. And Iowa, we've already talked about it, but they play at Nebraska. What Iowa needs to do is Iowa needs Indiana to beat Ohio State. So if Iowa wins and Indiana beats Ohio State, they get a double bye. That'd be huge for Iowa because a team that is generally better than this, they need some help getting the double, but they definitely have a single. The lowest they can go is 9. I see. Let's talk about Indiana. So Indiana plays Ohio State Saturday, and they are just straight up where they're at, win or lose, 10-10. Single bye is what it is. They play Wednesday. Washington. So also single bye. Highest they can go is 11 where they're at, and then they can drop down to 13. Let me see what else I have here for 13. Yeah, pretty much it. I mean, yeah. And a 3-way tie, Washington has the tiebreaker. So whether USC, yeah, they're going to get a single bye, and it doesn't really matter whether they're 11th or 13th as far as the tournament goes. Now March Madness implications is a different story. USC, they're getting a single bye automatically. They don't have to win or lose for anything. They can go as low as 13, but they do play UCLA. So all these West Coast games, I like the way the Big Ten set it up to where nobody has to travel great distances necessarily. Like as the majority of the conference, everybody's playing closer to their home. Minnesota, look, they play Northwestern. Now, whether Minnesota wins or loses doesn't matter, but this game, Minnesota versus Northwestern, it's interesting because if we'll get to Northwestern in a second. Rutgers is locked in at a single or no bye. They're probably honestly going to win versus Penn State. Penn State's not playing for anything. They're dead last. Okay. Northwestern, the last team that has anything to play for right now, really, in the bottom half of the Big Ten. So if they beat Minnesota, and what else is it? Oh, yeah. Penn State has to beat Rutgers. So if they beat Minnesota, Penn State beats Rutgers, you're looking at Minnesota playing day 1 and Northwestern getting a bye. So there you go. There's, more to it, a little more drama, but, you have Oregon. They're locked in with no bye. They play day 1 for sure. Also playing day 1 is Maryland. What a surprise. Maryland is they have not been good. They lost, somebody to the draft queen last year, but, you can't use that as an excuse to why your program's bad. Penn State, same way. What a disappointment. What a bad year for Penn State in 2026, 2025. The worst football season that I think I have ever seen. Terrible, terrible. And then basketball is they're dead last in the Big Ten. I'm not sure they could beat a lot of mid-major teams, to be honest. A lot. I don't know. If I put Penn State up against the Missouri Valley Conference, I'm not picking Penn State to win versus like Belmont or UIC. Heck, half the Missouri Valley Conference could. Anyway. All right, have a good one. We'll do another video after Saturday, and we'll talk about the seeding for the tournament.